Here we are, the evening of Hip Hop Public Health Gala, virtual gala. First time we've done this. We're very excited for all these pieces coming together, this collaboration. And the two of you have gotten together to change history on some things that have been in changing history in the making, but haven't made it. So I want to invite you to tell us how that's been working together on Miss Opal's dream, and Niko, you bringing the fire and the beats behind it and the youth and the activism. That's what we want to talk about. So I'm going to start, if that's okay, with Miss Opal. How are you feeling today, Miss Opal?
Really? I'm in the pink. That's an old expression that says I'm doing fine.
All right, all right. And how are you feeling today, Mr. Niko?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling blessed. I'm excited, you know. There's been a lot that we've been able to do together. So I'm just, you know, and I feel like in the light of everything that has happened, you know, with the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, being an artist, but also someone that's big on like community work, it kind of just felt like imperative to start shifting my focus to, you know, like supporting and, you know, using my platform to help my people. And, you know, when I started that journey, I was lucky enough to come into Miss Opal, who, you know, has mentored me and, you know, has been taking a charge on making Juneteenth a national holiday. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think once we kind of got going on that, I had this dope idea of making a sneaker. And, you know, when I had the idea of making a sneaker, I spoke to Miss Opal. She loved it, and she had a few ideas and inspirations of her own. And, you know, just like bringing those two together, you know, it was just great to see over at Sotheby's and, you know, whatnot. Okay. So I'm feeling great, but that's just all, you know, I've really been working on. It's just, you know, putting those things together. And, you know, of course, music. The music got to reflect what's going on right now. Yes. Those are the two things, community and the music.
Okay. Miss Opal?
And see, young people, the music that young people have, I'm getting used to it. I love the music. I'm learning how to do the hip hop stuff. You don't believe it, but I am.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
I've had young people around me all my life. I got 4 youngsters of my own, and they have children, and their children have children. So I sort of blend in, and I learned to say, "Come here, bro. Bring me stuff." Yes, I do. I'll say it in a minute. Some of that other language I've learned, and I use it around them, you know? So it makes me blend in with them. They don't think I'm an old fogey.
Now, Miss Opal, when I was reading about your history, when you were about 12, your house was burned down. Was that the moment that you took on this role of making sure that you were going to change laws and therefore change the way that we interact? Or did it happen a little later than that?
It happened a little later.
Okay.
We struggled so much after that happened until just surviving was all that was on my mind. But I became a part of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society. And we took on the responsibility of doing the 19th of June. We took things that we thought the youngsters should be interested in about the ending of slavery back in 1865. Maybe a few of them, but not many of them were interested, you know. So we had to use another tactic. People need to be aware of what happened back there so it doesn't happen again. And it's nearly happening again. So I'm on the road letting people know that Juneteenth is a unifier.
I want to be mindful of the time we have with each other this evening. And so I want to kind of bring it home a little bit. And I want to ask you both, what advice do you have to all of us who are watching you, who are joining you, who are marching with you? What advice do you have to us about the importance of intergenerational collaborations, if you will, as you're changing our reality and hopefully our American history together?
I think that it's so important that we do this. And what young African Americans, men and women alike, have to understand is that we don't have a lot of access to the generations prior to us. So in order for us to create, you know, the image for our future, that we have to have certain clarity on our past. And, you know, unfortunately, we can't go all the way back to before slave periods, but we have generations that have been on this soil and that have created this quote unquote Black culture that we see today. And if we really want to understand what is rooted in, what it comes from, and how we can continue to push it forward, we have to start having these conversations.
We've got to be able to let the young people know so that it doesn't happen again. I firmly believe that we can avoid what did happen to us if you're knowledgeable. And if you don't know, then you have no idea of what can be done. I'm wanting to talk to CEOs and people of that nature so that they can tell their employees what Juneteenth is all about. And I see it as a unifier. I want Juneteenth, everybody to understand that we should be celebrating Juneteenth from the 19th of June to the 4th of July. Slaves weren't free the 4th of July, 1776, you know? And all of that needs to be in context. If you don't know about what happened, and so many people don't know, it just boggles the mind that we have such a big job to do. So, hey, I'm on a mission. I'm gonna see that everyone I know knows about Juneteenth. Girl, I'll start a conversation in the middle of the street. You know, I really do go to the sidewalk, but I'm wanting everybody to know about Juneteenth.
This has been a fantastic conversation. We are very excited that you could join us this evening as Hip Hop Public Health celebrates our first virtual gala. Who knows what 2021 will look like, but I can tell you that everybody here and supporting Hip Hop Public Health, if they haven't signed the petition already, they are going to get nudged or pulled to the side, as you say, Ms. Opal, and talked to sign up on the petition and make sure that we are supporting everything that you both are doing together.
And make sure, you know, we're all staying connected. Patrice, thank you so much for having us, you know, and sharing the platform. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
And I'm saying, tell the young people to go to juneteenth.us and sign that petition. Counting on you, young folk here.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you. Thank you for having me, because I've enjoyed this.
Oh, good.
Ms. Opal, I love you. Have a great one.
I love you, boy. You just don't know how much I love you.